in the center-state relations. One is the Sarkariya Commission, another is the Punchi Commission. Okay. So, the discussion is on Sarkariya Commission and punchi Commission. So, this is related to the center-state relation. See, because the division of power is always a very complex matter. You know it very well. And there are many controversies also in India in the last 70 years of our independence and the constitution. See, if you look at the way the center and the state relations were there, during the Nehruvian era, till 1964, we can say that it was it was very smooth, because the center as well as the states were ruled by the same political party, the Indian National Congress. And even if there is some dispute between the center and the states, they were easily manageable, because Nehru was the all-powerful leader. His own chief ministers in across, except one or two states. In Kerala, the first opposition ruled party, the CPIM, the Communist Party, came to power for the first time. But otherwise, all other states were ruled by the Congress. And after Nehru's death, and in 1967 election, where at that time, till that time 52 election, 57 election, then 62 election, where center as well as the state government elections were together. So, when the 67 election took place, in many states opposition parties came to power for the first time. I think 9 states, 7 of them I think the Congress lost, and in 2 states, even after getting majority, they could not form the government. So, the center was ruled by Congress again, but in the states, many states opposition parties came to power, and the relationship started straining. And then Indira Gandhi rule, she was quite powerful, and she wanted to control everything. So, from 67 onwards, the relationship between the center and the state started deteriorating. And by the time 1975, we know the national emergency was there, 2 years of quite brutal rule, and we can say, and during that time all the opposition ruled states were dismissed by Indira Gandhi. Then came the Janata Party rule in 1978. When they came to power, they dismissed all all Congress ruled states. Article 356 was imposed there. Indira Gandhi came back to power in 1980. She again dismissed all the Janata Party ruled states, saying that these states lost the people's mandate. Janata Party dismissed all Congress ruled states in 1978. Indira Gandhi, when she came back to power in 1980, she dismissed all Janata Party ruled states. So, it was one-upmanship. The relationship between center and the states were really bad. Article 356 was used and misused many times. So, when Indira Gandhi came back to power in 1980, definitely she was a changed personality. She wanted to make many changes in her own style of functioning also, and the way country was moving forward. So, in June 1983, she appointed Justice R.S. Sarkariya, or Sarkariya Commission, R.S. Sarkariya, to look into the center-state relation and suggest measures to improve the relationship between the center and the states. And this Sarkariya Commission gave its recommendation in 1988, almost 5 years later, much after the death of Indira Gandhi in 1984. Rajiv Gandhi was in power at that time. Sarkariya Commission gave its recommendation. The idea was to recommend measures to make the relations more efficient and cooperative. That is the idea behind the whole thing. And it was given in 1988. And subsequently, many of the suggestions were implemented also. Then, during the Congress, the UPA government's rule in 2007, once again another commission was appointed, that is Punchi Commission. And but unfortunately, right now the center-state relations are not so good. Why? Because the center is always looking an opportunity to dismiss opposition ruled states. We have already seen they have dismissed the, the Karnataka government ruled by Congress earlier, Madhya Pradesh government, the way even Rajasthan it was tried. And so things are not in a good shape when it comes to the center-state relation after Prime Minister Modi came to power, because the focus of the central government right now is how to capture power from the opposition ruled states. So naturally, the center-state relations will not be proper, especially if the states are ruled by opposition. And even, in the, when it came to the GST, the compensation, during the Corona time also, when the issue of the compensation came, the opposition ruled states have a different, the center asked the states to borrow, but the opposition ruled states said no, whereas the BJP ruled states said yes, we will borrow. So the division is between the center, the opinion of the states are different from the centers. But again, the division is based on the party lines, unfortunately. So anyway, so coming to the Sarkariya Commission recommendation, some of the recommendations include the Commission expressed the need for streamlining the provisions for center state. So Sarkariya Commission expressed the need for streamlining the provisions of center state relations, streamlining the provisions of center state relations. And it suggested the center to begin with to relax its financial. See, one big problem in the center state relations we have already seen. As far as the finance is concerned, the states are fully dependent on the center. Even the GST rule you have seen. So the Sarkariya Commission recommended that it should relax the financial hold over the states. But unfortunately, after the GST now, the state's financial autonomy is further deteriorated. So Sarkariya Commission recommended to relax and give more autonomy to states in financial matters. Of course, this recommendation was in 1988, many decades before, but now as we know, it has actually, the autonomy is further eroded, it has been deteriorated. Why? Because of the GST, we know it, I have already discussed about the problems. Some of the other recommendations include about, see, another big issue is about Article 356. Please remember, one big issue between center and the state is the dismissal of the state government. And the Sarkariya Commission recommended that it is found that, at that time, more than 90% of the cases, the Article 356 was misused. And even now it is continued, even after Prime Minister Modi came to power. Most of the time it has been misused, not used. So the Commission noted that this article has been misused more than 90% of the time. It recommended the President's proclamation should include the reasons for Article 356. It said, when the President's proclamation is there, President's proclamation should include the reasons for the dismissal of the state government. And also, it said that the center should issue warning to the state first. Center should issue warning first before dismissing the state government under Article 355. Center should issue warning under Article 355, then only they should dismiss, then only they should go for suddenly, all of a sudden they should not be using it. First they issue warning, it should be warning, and it should not be used for political purpose. The Sarkariya Commission said 356 should not be used for political purpose. 356 should not be used for political purpose. Meaning to serve the purpose. See, just see the way Karnataka government has dismissed or Madhya Pradesh government has dismissed. It is for political purpose. It is for capturing power. But yes, that is a problem in our country. And it also said that the way, even the SR Bommai judgment, it said that under Article 356, the State Legislative Assembly should not be dissolved until the Parliament approves the Article 356, because that was even suggested by, subsequently, that was in 1994, S.R. Bommai judgment also said the same thing. President of India should not take any irrevocable step. That means the President can suspend the Legislative Assembly, not dissolve in the first go. Later on you can do that. You take the approval of the Parliament first. Also, on Article 258, where the Commission recommended that the President should delegate some of the Union executive function to the states. Delegate some of the powers of the Union to the states. It has been recommended. And also, regarding the concurrent list, you know very well, in the concurrent list, both the center and the states can legislate. But Sarkariya Commission recommended that the center should have a loose control over the subjects of the concurrent list and consult the state governments before enacting any law in the concurrent list. See, farmers bill, the trade and all. Again, the trade is in the concurrent list. See, center should consult. But as far as the Narendra Modi government is concerned, no consultation whatsoever. Forget about consulting the states. They are not even consulting the Parliament. No discussion in the Parliament. Everything is done the way it has been done. You know it very well. So, there should have, Sarkariya Commission recommended there should be consultation with the states before introducing any item in the concurrent list. Also, 252, Article 252 says, if two or more states request, the Parliament can make a law. But according to Sarkariya Commission, such a law should not last for not more than 3 years. If two or more states request the center to Union Parliament to make a law, such a law should not be enforced not more than 3 years. And also, Supreme Court, the Sarkariya Commission insisted that as far as under Article 262, the Interstate Water Dispute Tribunal, its tribunal award should be binding, should be made binding, and they should not be waiting for the central government to notify. So, the tribunal award should be binding on everyone, on the states, or binding on the concerned states. See, right now the provision is the tribunal will give the award and the central government should notify, then only it will become enforceable. That should not be the case. And Sarkariya Commission also recommended that the interstate council under Article 263 should be renamed as Intergovernmental Council. Interstate Council should be renamed as Intergovernmental Council, so that political issues can be avoided. And it also said that the surcharge, on various taxes, the surcharges should be only for a limited period. And the judges of the High Court, if they are to be transferred, their consent should be taken. And Sarkariya Commission was elaborately talked about the powers of the governor. About the governor, Sarkariya Commission spent maximum time. Sarkariya Commission said that the governor should be, the right people should be appointed, and it said that the governor should be left free to decide in many matters, because you cannot list down a framework how the governor should behave. If the right people are appointed, the commission felt that much of the criticism could be avoided if the selection of the governors have been made on correct principles. And the commission suggested certain criteria. Number one, the states must be consulted before the appointment of a governor. You consult the concerned state government, the concerned chief minister before appointing a governor. Number one, the governor should not belong to the same state. Number three, he should be an eminent figure in any walk of life. He should have detached himself from local politics of the state. He should not have been actively involved in politics in the recent past. This is what Sarkariya Commission recommended. He should not be a politician of the ruling party at the center. You see, he should not be a politician of the ruling party at the center. Right now, you see how the governors are appointed. And the persons of the minority group should be given a chance Otherwise, they will never come to politics. They cannot win an election and all. The persons of minority groups should be given a chance. And the system of fortnightly report by the governor should continue, he said. And the power of the governor to refer any bill to the center for president's assent must continue. But he said that it should be done only when there is an anti-constitutional law is moved by the state legislative assembly, and 5-year tenure. 5-year tenure should not be disturbed except in very compelling reasons. So 5-year tenure should be there. It should not be disturbed beyond a point. Okay, and it also said that the test of the majority of a council of ministers should be the floor of the house. Chief Minister, before dismissing, he should be given a chance to prove his majority, and summoning and proroguing or dissolution of the assembly should be based on the advice given by the council of ministers if they enjoy majority in the legislative assembly. And also, while recommending president's rule, it should be used as a last resort, and it should be after using all available options, then only 356 should be used. It should be the last resort. And when a bill is reserved for president's assent under Article 200, if a bill is reserved for president's assent under Article 200, only in such circumstances when the bills are patently unconstitutional or the state legislature has exceeded its jurisdiction, you should reserve only if, according to a Sarkariya commission, only if the bill is patently unconstitutional. The bill is patently unconstitutional. Bill is patently unconstitutional, or where the state legislative assembly has exceeded its jurisdiction, then only Article 200 should be applied. That is what the Sarkariya commission has recommended. And again, as I told you, many of these recommendations were implemented. It is the most comprehensive suggestion for improving state relation. Subsequently, by the UPA government in 2007, they appointed the Punchi Commission. Former judge of the Supreme Court in 2007. Similar condition examined the possibility of giving sweeping powers or other, how to improve the relationship between the center and the state. That is how it has been appointed, and it is almost 2 decades after Sarkariya Commission was appointed. You know it very well. And some of the recommendations include appointment and removal of the governor. Again, governor is a very hot subject. Even the Punchi Commission felt that governor should have the right to sanction prosecution of a minister against the advice of the council of ministers. Even if the council of ministers did not give advice, the governor should give sanction for the prosecution of a minister even if the council of ministers did not give advice. Also, he also suggested that the chancellors of the university, governor should not be the chancellor of the university, creating unnecessary power struggle there. Governor should not be the chancellors of the universities, as in the case right now. The state universities, the chancellors are governors right now. It should not be. Also, as for the qualification of the governors, the nominee should not have participated in active politics even at local level for at least a couple of years. He also said that a person who is appointed as a governor should be away from active politics, should not be participating in local politics at least for a few years. The commission also criticizes the arbitrary dismissal of the governors. The practice of treating governors as political football must stop. A fixed 5-year tenure should be given to the governors. That is what the Punchi Commission recommended. Sarkariya Commission did not recommend that. Sarkariya Commission said as far as possible 5-year tenure should be maintained. But in Punchi Commission it is said that 5 years should be, governor should not, a fixed 5-year tenure should be there, and if at all the governor is to be removed, it should be through an impeachment motion in the state legislative assembly. governors should be removed through an impeachment motion in the state legislative assembly. In the state legislative assembly. And again, it should be for violation of the constitutional provision. And the state chief minister, the Punchi commission said that state chief minister should have a say in the appointment of the governors. And also it has said that there should be a committee, a search committee for appointing the governor, comprising of the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, the Chief Minister of the concerned state, and if required Vice President of India. All can be involved in searching and finding out a governor. And Sarkariya Commission, as I told you, Sarkariya Commission did not recommend a fixed 5-year term, but Punchi Commission recommended fixed 5-year term for the governors. And Punchi Commission also said that the governors' discretionary power under Article 163(2), it should be limited, and if required, constitutional amendment should be brought. Punchi Commission said that the discretionary power of the governor should be minimized, and the governors should not sit on the decision and must decide on a matter within 4 months period. I mean, the pocket veto used by governor should be minimized, or the time period of the pocket veto should be minimized to 4 months. And the Punchi Commission also recommended that there should be the National Investigation Agency, NIA, and there should be more coordination between the central and the state agencies, especially those who are inquiring against the terror activities and all. It was suggested at that time. And also the National Integration Council should meet at least once in a year. These days National Integration Council is never met. It should meet at least once in a year. And also it suggested that as far as the internal security provisions are concerned, that it studied the new setup, that is the National Investigating Agency, and recommended procedures to ensure smooth functioning of central and the states. And it also said that rather than imposing 356 in a state by removing or rather dismissing the state government, there should be a provision for localizing emergency provisions under Article 356. I mean, in a local area, there should be provisions for Article 356. The center can take over the administration of a locality, a local area within the state, rather than dismissing the whole state government. And it said that either a district or a part of a district be brought under governor's rule instead of the whole state. If the law and order situation in a particular state or in a particular region gets deteriorated. Punchi Commission said that there should be provision for localizing emergency provisions. So in a particular district or a couple of districts, governor should take over. And also such an emergency provision should not last more than 3 months. If the governor is taking over the administration of a couple of districts, it should not last for more than 3 months. That is a good idea, because rather than dismissing the whole state government, the state government's power to administer in a particular district or in a particular region has been taken away, and the governor will do that. And the commission also support the right to give sanction for the prosecution of ministers against the advice of the state government. Yes, I already said this. And also, as far as central government deployment of central forces are concerned, the bill, or rather it suggested that when there is a communal violence, the center should be allowed to deploy these paramilitary forces without the consent of the state government. The Punchi Commission recommended that the center should be able to deploy paramilitary or the central forces without the consent of state government. But it clearly said that that should not be endlessly. It should be a maximum period of 1 week. And the state consent should not become a hurdle in the deployment of central force in a communal, especially when there is a communal, communal violence is going on. If the killings are going on, the sender should not wait for the state's permission to come. However, that deployment should be for a maximum of 1 week, and a post facto consent should be taken. The Punchi Commission said that the consent should be taken from the state government later on, which is called a post facto consent. But to deploy central forces for a week's time, because we can easily control any communal violence if we want. If the administration wants to control the communal violence, it can be stopped within 24 hours, if not 48 hours. Punchi Commission recommends that the central government should be permitted to deploy the forces for 1 week without any consent, and within that time you take consent from the state government. If the state government is not giving consent, they may withdraw. But if communal violence is still going on and the state government is not giving consent, the center can even dismiss the state government. So, Punchi Commission said that in case of communal violence, the center should be able to deploy the central forces without waiting for the state's consent to come. But they should be deployed only for one. That's a wonderful idea. When see, in Delhi, communal violence took place in the northeastern Delhi region. More than 50 people got killed. One big issue was that even though it was the central government only was doing, the Delhi police was watching. Under the eyes of the Delhi police, the communal violence took place and 52 people got killed in 2019. Just see. And it is only because of the inaction of the Delhi police, and Delhi police was in 2020, January it happened. And the inaction was because the political leadership did not want the communal violence to stop. They allowed the communal violence to happen. Directly under the control of the Union Home Ministry this has happened. But in a state, if the state government is not acting enough, center should be able to send the central forces to prevent the communal violence and to save the lives of the people. Quite logical. That should be the spirit also. So these are some of the suggestions given by the M.M. Punchi Commission. So Sarkariya Commission as well as M.M. Punchi Commission gave many valuable suggestions, and in both commission report, one common thing is the misuse of the governor's power, the misuse of Article 356, the misuse of governor as an agent of the center. This is a big issue. Political leaders are sent as governors in the opposition ruled states, and the governors are trying to protect the political interest of the ruling party in the center. It's a big problem. We have seen the way the Maharashtra government was formed. The the Shiv Sena, NCP, Congress government which is in power. The kind of drama which was there before Uddhav Thackeray became the chief minister of the state, and it is it is a blatant misuse of the power of the governor only to serve the interest of the ruling party in the center. So both the commissions recommended the governor's role, and right people should be appointed. Non-political people should be appointed. So please look into these things. I mean, both are very important for improving center-state relations. Both the commission reports are very important, and have an idea, even the Sarkariya Commission report is almost 30 years old, 32 years old. So 88 it came. So, but still it is relevant because that is the most comprehensive report. Even M.M. Punchi Commission, you can use these points in your answer relevant, especially about governor, about center-state relation, you can use it. So that is why you should know some of these provisions, very important. You can add it in your answer to enrich your answer. So that is how Sarkariya Commission as well as M.M. Punchi Commission report. Both are very important in center-state relations.